Yeah, let's talk about the National Football League draft. This, of course, is the second game of our doubleheader. We did the first podcast earlier today, our NFL draft preview with John Cooper from Our Lads Draft Guide. Second game of the doubleheader, trade rumors. Let's just run through what has developed over the weekend into today. The Raiders obviously going to try to make some changes. The Raiders are trying to make some impact moves. The Raiders have the very high draft pick at number 6. Depending on which rumor you believe, I still think they're going to take Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. Intriguing rumor, though. They have cap space. They have the influence of Tom Brady. They have multiple draft picks. Raiders are talking to Miami about a trade for Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Miami's trying to move him. He's got a $24 million cap figure contract this year. Miami will have to pay a piece of it. I've heard the Raiders are interested. And the Raiders have lost a lot of starters off their defense. If they get a guy like this who's got leadership ability with enormous experience, the rumor is they'd have to give up a third-round pick for a 31-year-old guy. But Ramsey doesn't have a history of injuries. He's got a history of leadership. Boy, I think that'd be a really good acquisition. Raiders also brought in over the weekend Hunter Renfrow, that little slot-back wide receiver, ran all the tough guy inside routes, didn't play last year. It was released by the prior Raider regime, did not sign anywhere. He had a knee injury at one point. He's totally healthy. I think the Raiders are going to wind up signing him. So, tell you, they get Jalen Ramsey. That's a huge back-end acquisition in terms of talent, but also leadership. New Orleans, man, they got problems everywhere. They got problems with Derek Carr, potential shoulder surgery. Now they report that Derek Carr just wants the hell out of New Orleans. This contract thing is a big problem. And now they've lost both their left tackle and their right tackle within a span of 11 days. Terron Armstead retired at left tackle after 11 years, and on the weekend, Ryan Ramczyk, the right tackle, retired. So New Orleans got a quarterback problem, and now they don't have their bookend tackles. That's not good at all. Really intriguing story out of Pittsburgh that the Steelers are trying to make another trade. Now, Pittsburgh is drafting 21 in the first round. There's a report that Pittsburgh is talking to Philadelphia about getting pick 32 also. Pittsburgh would give up second and third round choices maybe, and next year's number 1 to get Philadelphia's pick. So Pittsburgh would draft at 21 and 32. And the report is that Pittsburgh is very interested in Jackson Dart. And then Pittsburgh is also interested in just going into the marketplace and getting more offensive line help, which they could get at number 32. It's interesting. Pittsburgh might make a trade there. Denver, this is interesting. I can't quite connect the dots on this. The Broncos are talking to the Bears about trading up, going from 20 to 11 to take Ty Warren, the do-everything tight end fullback from Penn State. The only thing that doesn't make sense is Denver just spent a lot of money in free agency to get ex-Giants and Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram. Why would they make a big trade to trade up to get Ty Warren when you committed all this money to get Evan Ingram? Now, Denver also is in need of a power running back, and there are rumors out there they have interest in Omari Hampton from North Carolina. But why would they trade up to go get Ty Warren when they spent all that money on the other free agent, Evan Ingram? And in Philadelphia, in addition to the Pittsburgh trade, the Eagles are evidently going to get rid of Dallas Goedert, their star tight end. They've chopped a lot of players off that roster so far in this offseason. They're shopping him around, looking for maybe a third-round draft pick. Now, granted, he's got some miles on him, and there's a cap figure there. But, boy, I look at Philadelphia. They trade the tight end. They let the right guard go to the Chargers. They lost a young defensive end and a young defensive tackle in free agency, and they cut loose their veteran safety. Philadelphia, for a team who won the Super Bowl, sure chopping pieces off that roster before they come back to get their Super Bowl rings at the start of training camp. So, John, NFL Notebook, go ahead, respond.
Well, Ashton Jeanty, you were saying in the previous episode that with John Cooper from Our Lads that Ashton Jeanty could be like LaDainian Tomlinson.
That's what an NFL scout told me.
Yeah, so break that down for me a little bit. I mean, is he really a dual threat kind of guy?
They're both 5'8". They're both really physical. They both have the extra gear once they get to the second level. They both do jump cuts. It's like they're carbon copies of each other. And Genti actually is bigger in the upper body than LT was coming out of TCU. I mean, Genti is just a physical specimen. A lot of comparisons. He's going to go. He's going to go early. I think he's going to the Raiders. I think they're going to get themselves a hell of a player. Now, Raiders, they still got to solve their offensive line problems, and they got to fill all these holes. We got to go out and get the work crew that's filling a pothole down by the end of your driver.
Yeah.
Got to get them and send them to Vegas and fill all the potholes on the defensive depth chart that the Raiders have. But so I think Genti's the real deal. And for NFL scout to tell me that looks like LaDainian Tomlinson, that's pretty impressive. And the people that are barking, well, he hadn't played anybody. Well, excuse me, Boise State did play really good non-conference people. And Ashton Genti ran for 200 plus against everybody. He had 2,600 yards last season. So that's the point-by-point comparison to Tomlinson.
Interesting. I mean, that's an interesting comparison. I let's hope that he has a similar path, a similar career path. But the Jalen Ramsey, potential trade is interesting. But yeah, to your point, Miami would probably have to pick up at least half that money, right?
Yeah, awful lot. So we'll see where that goes. But the Raiders have cap space. The Raiders have draft picks. The Raiders have Tom Brady's influence. They got Pete Carroll, who wants to play a lot of defense. They got Jalen Ramsey's resume. That makes a lot of sense. I think that'd be a hell of an acquisition.
No, I completely agree.
I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, following Raider football with new leadership, new philosophy. This is going to be a fun draft. Hey, we get to halftime.